We're just about set to go. Sherman Douglas just being introduced. He's played very well in the back line for the Celtics. Douglas with almost 10 assists a game. As we check a Dallas Morning News note, Kevin McHale, a great Celtic. They'll have number 32, his number retired this Sunday here at Boston Garden. A lot of numbers have been retired. There are probably more retired numbers up there than there are championship banners. They're going to have to start going to letters before long.
A lot of great players have played in this building. Kevin McHale, one of the better players to play in a Celtics uniform. One of the more colorful players in the NBA as well.
He's something else. 40 years old. $4 million a year. They paid him double what he would have got from any other team. He was a free agent after last season, but they needed the big guy to keep it solidified here at Boston Garden. Dino Radja is a guy to watch, a Croatian player like co-coach of the Chicago Bulls. Radja's really been coming on. As we look at the starting lineup for the Mavericks, Jamal Mashburn is going to be back in the starting lineup tonight, along with Sean Rooks and Popeye Jones. And in the backcourt, Jimmy Jackson, who's been having so many terrific games lately, and the veteran Fat Lever will be playing at the point. For the Boston Celtics up front, they will go with Dino Radja in his first year in the NBA. Robert Parrish at center. Rick Fox has been playing very well. The former All-American at North Carolina, one of Boston's best defensive players. In the backcourt, Dee Brown, who is the leading scorer for the Celtics at 14 a game. And Sherman Douglas, who has really stepped it up with his unselfish play, which had not been a hallmark of his play earlier. He was too much a shooter, but now he's been giving it up, has 9.9 assists a game. The opening tip-off tonight is brought to you by Foot Locker, where it all begins. Don Criqui with Brad Davis. And we're underway at Boston Garden as the tip goes from Rooks to Popeye Jones.
Mavericks are going to try to get somebody involved in this triangle offense. They're into it early. Here comes Fat off a little screen.
Robert Parrish on the switch, picking him up, and now Douglas comes back and gets him. Rooks jump shooting over Robert Parrish, and Sean Rooks is right on time with the first shot of the game.
I think that's what you can do with Robert Parrish. Bring him out.
Scoring this period is being brought to you by FINA. Douglas doubled up now as Rooks comes up high. They go down low to Robert Parrish, and the Chief, as they call him, putting something up. It bounces off to Lever. Here's Mashburn on a 3-on-3 break. Jamal Mashburn on the parquet floor of Boston Garden for the first time in his career.
I like the way he pushed the ball. Look for something early, though. They're trying to get something in transition. Nice little cut by Jimmy Jackson. He's going to get 2 free throws here.
The officials tonight are Ed Rush, Paul Mihalik, and Joe Borgia. The personal foul was on Dee Brown, and it sends Jim Jackson to the free throw line. He is an 84% plus free throw shooter. And his point per game average now up to 18.4. Jackson can't get the first one to go. Opposing teams talk about Jim Jackson's unselfishness, Brad.
It's probably one of his biggest problems. Sometimes he's a little too unselfish. He's such a great scorer, but he's also such a great passer too, that sometimes he gives the ball up passing it when he should be shooting.
Celtics get the ball down quickly, but the Mavericks are back to defend now. Rick Fox beats Mashburn on the dribble, but Fox can't get the shot to go. It caroms out of bounds and comes back inbounds to Dallas.
Good help that time by the Mavericks. They saw Rick Fox driving, had a couple blue shirts over there trying to cut him off.
Popeye playing a high post at Murray State. He was a great passer, Popeye Jones. And here is Rooks going to the basket, and he's fouled by Dino Radja. So the Mavericks taking it to the rack early and getting the free throws.
Good movement once again off the triangle offense by the Mavericks. That's the second time they've run that play with Fat Lever curling off a double screen down. Fat got into the lane, did a good job getting the ball over to Sean Rooks.
Rooks with a soft free throw shooting touch, and he knocks it down. The Mavericks scoring the first 4 points of this game to take a 4-0 lead.
The Mavericks are trying to do exactly what they talked about in the locker room. That's get off to a quick start, try to keep the crowd out of the game, get back on defense, keep the Celtics from running. They've done that so far in this ballgame.
So the Mavericks with a field goal in 1 attempt and 3 for 4 from the line have taken a 5-0 lead. Now down low, Radja beats Popeye off the blocks, but a whistle stops play.
They're going to give Popeye for the hold here. Radja slipped on the inside. Popeye was helping on the screen to the outside. He had to turn around. Smart foul, though. He grabbed him by the shirt because he knew he was going to have an easy layup.
Here is Dee Brown, who is a long-range shooter and a man who can make it work as he does there. He gets Boston its first points of the game.
Here's a good matchup for the Mavericks right here. Jimmy Jackson on Dee Brown, posting up, quick spin to the baseline. 2 points for Jimmy.
Some good-looking basketball by the Mavericks early on in this game now as they moved out to a 7-2 lead. Lever looping down low, and they go alley-oop to Rick Fox at 6'7". He breaks free on the baseline.
Once again, the Mavericks were caught on the top side, trying to help out on the screen. Rick Fox slipped on the inside. Nice lob pass by Sherman Douglas.
Popeye Jones with a handoff. Mashburn defended by Fox, looking low, and now his pass is intercepted by Parrish. Lead to Fox, and Fat Lever comes over, knocks the ball away, but it will come inbounds to the Celtics.
Nice play by Fat Lever, getting back on defense. Rick Fox thought he had it all alone. He was going to let the ball bounce, pick it up and take it in. Fat snuck in on the weak side.
So Sherman Douglas now working off a high pick set by Dino Radja. He delivers back to Radja, and the Croatian, who is the Celtics' second leading scorer and their leading rebounder, strokes the jumper to make it a 7-6 game Dallas.
That's what the big fella can do right there. He can shoot the ball from the outside, but he's strong enough to also score on the inside.
Fox is a harassing defender. Rick Fox. Mashburn has to be careful. He will go for the steal. Now Popeye Jones doesn't get the roll. Brooks with a tip. And the ball is knocked out to Lever. And a new 24-second clock for the Mavericks here in the first period.
Little pick and roll with Fat and Sean. Fat did a good job taking the baseline side. Sherman Douglas tried to cheat and go over the top side on this pick and roll, and Fat beat him to the baseline, drew the foul.
First foul on Sherman Douglas, but 3 quick fouls here in the first quarter on the Boston Celtics. Mashburn to inbound the ball.
Come back.
Popeye at Murray State was a tremendous passer, both from the high post and down low on the blocks. He'd throw it blindside over his shoulder. Did some of those Larry Bird passes during his collegiate career, and it looks like they're setting him up to do some of that tonight.
That helps, especially when you're running that triangle offense, because you've got Popeye coming up from the weak side. He's always making that little pass on the back door, and he's done it well this season.
They just got Dee Brown on his second personal foul. The 14th foul of the quarter against Boston as Jim Jackson strokes from the outside. Jim Jackson off to a hot start. He has 5 Dallas points. Harris takes it hard to the basket. Whistle stops play. There'll be a shooting foul called against Dallas.
Looks like they're going to get Sean Rooks for this one. It looked like Parrish lost this ball on the way up. I don't know how much contact there was between him and Sean Rooks. This is Parrish's favorite move, though. Look middle, turn baseline, goes up strong. It looked like he was losing it. Actually, it looked like Sean got the ball on the way up. May have gotten a little bit of the arm.
The free throw by the Chief, Robert Parrish, makes it a 9-7 game. Dallas in the lead. The Mavericks have never won at Boston Garden. They're 0-13 here, but a lot of teams had a hard time winning here. The Knicks went 23 straight games without a victory here at Boston Garden. As you see the field goal percentages early, Dallas hitting 75% on 3 of 4 from the field. Mashburn with a great ability to handle the ball. It looked like a foul on Fox. They're going to call it just a tipped away ball and inbounds to Dallas.
Mavericks may try to go right back in here to Sean Rooks. He had luck that first time stepping out away from the basket on Parrish.
Sean Rooks can't get the jumper, but the offensive rebound goes to Popeye Jones, the leading rebounder for the Mavericks, and almost half his rebounds are offensive rebounds.
They are. Popeye gets to the board as Sean Rooks sort of stumbled there. Parrish eased off on the pressure. Sean stumbled. They called the travel on him.
So the ball now is back over to Boston. The Mavericks with 2 offensive rebounds early, but no points off them. Dallas holding to a 9-8 lead with 8:09 to play in the first quarter.
Sherman Douglas got a little backdoor cut in there. Fat had to reach in there and grab on that one. First foul on Fat.
Sherman Douglas, a 6'1" point guard out of Syracuse, played with Miami. He was starting for the Celtics last season, then he was relegated to the bench, then he started again. He's been up and down, and finally he got a pretty good idea of what they want in Boston. That's for the point man to dish the ball, to assist, and he's been doing that very well.
Donnie really has. The second half of this season so far, he's really done a good job recognizing 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, and making the right decision on the break. He had 12 assists down in Dallas when they beat the Mavericks last week.
And that very tough fight it out to the final buzzer game between the Celtics and the Mavericks. Down low to Mashburn, moving on Fox, and Mashburn pulling up. Not quite enough there, and Robert Parrish clears and outlets to Dee Brown. Long lead to Radja. He tries to go uptown with a behind-the-back pass that's picked up by Fat Lever. And Jamal is free for a three-point stroke that is rebounded by Rick Fox.
And here comes Robert Parrish running down the court in the right-hand lane. Good job by Sean Rooks, staying back on defense, picking him up.
Dee Brown, a former NBA slam dunk champion, at 6'1", can't get the jump shot to go, and Fat Lever gets it low. Jackson has it tipped away. Celtics pressuring the ball. Here's Dee Brown throwing it away. We got a lot of people running fast but not doing very much.
Yeah, Jamal Mashburn made a nice play there, reached around behind Dee Brown, may have tipped it just a little bit. Dee sort of lost control before he threw that pass and threw it into the stands.
Now Lever working off a high pick set by Sean Rooks, and Rooks has nowhere to go, so he dishes to Jackson. Out to Lever. Shot clock down to 5. Rooks has got to go with it. He does. Bounce doesn't go, and the ball was tipped out of bounds. They ruled that Rooks was the last to touch it, so it will be inbounds to the Celtics as we now have a timeout on the floor with 6:51 to go in the first quarter, and the Mavericks leading the Celtics. The Mavericks and the Celtics tied 9-all.
Threw a bad pass also on the fast break, which cost them some points.
Talk about the teams that have struggled here in Boston Garden, Brad. The Knicks with that 23-game losing streak here. Utah had a 21-game losing streak here. Something about the building.
It must be, especially the Knicks, because the Knicks play up here a few times every year. A team like Utah that only comes in once a year, you can understand.
Mavericks do a good job doubling up on Robert Parrish. The ball is then kicked out to Rick Fox. And Boston takes its first lead of the game, 11-9.
Fox is really shooting the ball well. He didn't shoot it well in the game down in Dallas, but before that, he's really shot the ball extremely well.
Jackson backing down. A much shorter Sherman Douglas and getting the ball to go. Now Jimmy Jackson has scored 7 points as the game is tied at 11.
That's a good matchup right now for the Mavericks. They've taken Dee Brown with 2 fouls off of Jimmy Jackson, and they're going to try to play Sherman Douglas on him.
Last year the Celtics won 48 games, and of course they had the great Reggie Lewis in their lineup. They finished second to the Knicks in the Atlantic Division. Currently the Celtics are 17-23 on the year and 10.5 games back of New York. Each team has now turned the ball over 3 times in this game. Popeye kicks it back out to Mashburn. Good ball movement by the Mavericks, and Fat Lever's opened up for the jumper.
Nice little swing by Jamal Mashburn. He caught it and let it go. Fat was wide open in the corner, buried the jumper.
And the Mavericks have taken back the lead as they go low to Parrish. He's Dino Radja. All those Yugoslavian players can shoot. Nobody makes them all. Dino bricks one there, but he can shoot from 3-point range at 6'9", 240 pounds.
It looks like that's where the double's going to come on Parrish tonight, is from Radja's man, who's Popeye Jones.
Sean Rooks out high, looping down low to Jim Jackson. He's got a smaller player against him in Dee Brown. Great ball movement as Rooks kicks low. And Popeye's left all alone for the easy shot.
Nice job by Popeye hanging around the basket, moved to the open spot. Nice pass by Sean Rooks.
Mavericks back in front by 4 points. They're on a 6-0 run now after losing their lead. Rick Fox has the ball tipped away by Popeye Jones. Douglas going hard to the basket. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Sherman Douglas.
Good job once again by Popeye.
Happy about that. Second foul on Sherman. So both starting guards have 2 personal fouls now. Dee Brown has 2 and Sherman Douglas has 2.
Chris Ford's going to go to his bench early. Going to get Jimmy Oliver into the ballgame. Jimmy Oliver hasn't played a whole lot for the Celtics. Forced into action tonight.
Now Kevin Gamble is in the game for the Celtics. 4:54 to go in the first period. Jackson over to Jamal Mashburn. Fox comes out to get Jim Jackson. Rooks setting up low.
Good drive by Fat. A little leap and later, a little too hard off the glass.
Douglas tries to save it. And the short-handed one, Popeye Jones. The guy's a marvel, isn't he, Popeye, those hands?
He is. He keeps it up. Chris Ford's going to get a timeout here. Good job keeping it alive. Turns into 2 points for the Mavericks.
Hey, this scout of the Celtics, John Jennings, was raving about Popeye Jones, and that's one of the reasons why, what we just saw. 26-11. This is the biggest lead of the night for Dallas. What are they doing to play so much better early on here, Brad?
They're getting a lot of motion. They're getting a lot of movement in their offense, some stuff in transition. A big point is, though, 4-0 on the offensive boards for the Mavericks. Create 6 more shots than the Celtics early in the ballgame.
Boston trying to break it 8-0. Dallas running, scoring, and the Chief goes hard to the basket. Big fella from Centenary College with a finger roll makes it a 17-13 game. 4 points now for the Chief.
Excuse me, Don. The double was late coming that time. Chief was able to spin into the middle. You've got to get a guy in there to keep him from turning into the basket.
Mashburn jump passing to Rooks, and Rooks jumps over Parrish, slams it down. Rooks hits the deck. He's okay, and he has 6 points as the Mavericks open up a 19-13 lead. Radja backing off Popeye with some big body, but Fat Lever gets the missed shot.
Once again, the Mavericks are looking to push it, get something easy. Nice post up by Mashburn.
That's where his game is. This guy could be a Karl Malone. He could live at the line.
That's perfect right there. Is him going into the middle and sealing right there and getting him the ball.
The free throw line. The foul is on Kevin Gamble. And that's the 5th foul of the first quarter on the Celtics. It was a shooting foul. So Jamal Mashburn, the leading rookie scorer in the NBA, goes to the line. He's averaging 18.8 points a game.
It's nice to see Jamal running the court, getting down there and try to get himself started with some easy stuff inside.
1 for 2, but it extends the lead to 7, biggest of the game, 20-13. Here is Sherman Douglas launching. Robert Parrish with good hands gets the Karen inside court. Chief sees no one to go to, so he puts it up and down.
Mavericks are doing a good job getting back as a team, though. They're making them shoot from the outside. When you're missing as a team, you get a little tentative shooting the ball. Sherman Douglas took a bad shot.
Jim Jackson launching long distance, and now there's a foul call on Mashburn as he got the Chief in the nose going for the loose ball. Foul call on Jamal Mashburn with 2:55 to go in the period.
Long rebound right here. Jamal Mashburn comes up on Robert Parrish, gets him in the nose. He's going to be okay, though.
Now Lucious Harris, rookie backcourt player for the Mavericks in the game, working against Sherman Douglas. You got to be quick to defend Douglas. He's a Nate Archibald on skates when he has the ball.
He is very quick. You try to keep him in front of you.
Well, they go to Fox. He has it knocked away, and here comes Mashburn at 6'8", 240, leading the break. Mashburn with moves to the basket, rebound to Mashburn, and he's fouled by Radja.
Good quickness by Mashburn, getting up, getting his rebound on the missed shot. Here's Mash once again trying to get something in transition to the basket. Good job going up and getting his follow, getting fouled.
We talked early, Brad, about the Boston coaches designating this a danger game, and they wanted to step out early and show the Mavericks they can't win in Boston Garden, but it's been the other way. The Mavericks have stepped out early and have moved now to a 21-15 lead as a tough man comes in, McDaniel.
Xavier last time gave him a big lift down in Dallas, came off the bench, had a big night. Big thing with X is you've got to try to keep him off the board.
A little too much on it. Mashburn having some early problems at the line. 21-15 game, and Douglas hurries quickly down court for Boston.
The Celtics trying to do a little curl with Rick Fox in the middle. Good defense by Popeye Jones.
Gamble slanting across the lane, gets it to go with the left hand, cutting the Mavericks lead to 4. Here's Harris as Mashburn is posting down low against Gamble. Mashburn, he can live down there.
That's perfect right there.
That's
Kevin
home.
Gamble cannot stop him down there. Good job by Lucious Harris pushing the ball up, getting it to Mashburn quickly in transition while the Celtics are still getting back. Mash makes a nice move to the middle before the double team comes, gets the bucket and the free throw.
Build a house down there. That's home.
Yeah.
Mashburn getting the shot to go, drawing the foul and going to the line as he hits it to again extend the Dallas lead to 7 points with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Gamble freed up. Long range try, offensive rebound off the hands of a frustrated Rick Fox, and back to the Mavericks.
Mavericks once again are going to try to get something, I'm sure, with Mashburn here with Kevin Gamble guarding him.
Boston No points off 8 fast breaks so far in this game.
Good job by the Mavericks that time. They tried to post up Jimmy Jackson. Illegal defense on the Celtics coming from the weak side.
Here's Lucious Harris looking to go low to Doug Smith, who's just come in the game. And we're going to have an offensive foul called against the Mavericks, and the ball comes inbounds to Boston.
Doug Smith moved a little bit too much on that pick and roll. Paul Mahalik, veteran referee, caught it underneath.
Mavericks still under the limit with 4 team fouls. Celtics over the limit here in the first quarter. McDaniel stepping in, putting too much on it. Rebound to Mashburn. He's been leading the break a lot tonight. 10 men running. Jamal Mashburn fires a rocket that Jackson somehow gets his hand on. Now Sherman Douglas comes up with it. Will they get him out of travel, or will there be a foul call? Be a foul call on Dallas. It's on Lucious Harris, his first.
Yeah, Lucious did a good job, though. He grabbed Sherman Douglas because the Celtics had 2 guys ahead for a layup. Good job by Lucious reaching in, taking the foul right here.
Sherman Douglas at the free throw line. A man with a very limited outside shooting ability. It's a 24-18 now. 24-18 game. Dallas is in the lead. Douglas at the free throw line brings the Celtics back now to within 5 with 1:20 to go in the first quarter.
Let's see if the Mavericks try to once again get something either with Jackson or Mashburn. They're both pretty hot.
Trying to force it in low. It's knocked away again. Coming down court quickly with the ball is Sherman Douglas. Not showing the great handle there, although he has one. Mashburn dishes to Doug Smith. It goes down, and Doug Smith goes to the line. As the Mavericks here in the first quarter have been putting on a show.
What a beautiful pass by Mashburn. Nice break by the Mavericks. Mashburn draws McDaniel. Magic Johnson pass over the head. Good foul, good finish by Doug Smith.
McDaniel gets the personal foul, and with 1 minute to go, Doug Smith, who's a very good free throw shooter, goes to the line. An 84% free throw shooter, and Doug hits it to complete a 3-point play, and the Mavericks have taken their biggest lead of the game, an 8-point advantage.
Mavericks need to continue to pack things in. Don't let the Celtics get into creases, beat you going to the hoop. They're having a tough time shooting from the outside.
We want Douglas shooting those as often as he had. He is not a good jump shooter, but in close, Robert Parrish is. Parrish now with 8 points for the Celtics, Brad.
That's 2 putbacks by Robert Parrish, 2 offensive rebounds by Parrish, 2 buckets on the putbacks by Parrish.
Lucious Harris at 6'5" with great ability with the ball. A beautiful play to the basket by rookie Lucious Harris.
Nice drive. He used the pick extremely well. He's very patient. Better yet, the Mavericks are going to get 2 for 1 in this situation.
The Mavericks back up in front by 8 points. Parrish down low. Doug Smith defending well against him, but he does hack the Chief on the shot, and Robert Parrish goes to the free throw line.
But once again, good help on the weak side by the Mavericks. Coming over, picking up Robert Parrish. They double teamed the pick and roll. Parrish slipped to the basket. They had help on the weak side.
Doug Smith getting his 2nd personal foul of the game. The Chief with an awkward looking free throw shot, but he's been pretty effective with it over the years. He's leading the way right now for Boston with 8 points and 6 rebounds.
Chief really struggled in Dallas free throw wise down there. He shot under 50% free throws and got to the line a lot in that game in Dallas. Let's see if Dallas sets up somebody here just to clear out and go one-on-one with the clock running down.
Funny how guys that are bad free throw shooters draw a lot of fan interest, like Dudley of Portland, as Jamal Mashburn gets a shooter's bounce and knocks it down. Jamal now with 7 points and a 9-point Dallas lead as Sherman Douglas launches a hope at the buzzer, and the first quarter ends with the Dallas Mavericks, who the Celtics had hoped and knocked down and perhaps out in the first quarter. For the Mavericks have taken a 31-22 lead here at Boston Garden. At Boston Garden in the game summary, one of the things Dallas is doing is shooting a high percentage because they're getting a fast break going.
Don, they are. They've had 8 fast break opportunities for 8 points. All the guys are getting out and running the court. That leads to a higher percentage. Also leads to the high total in inside scoring, 16 points inside as opposed to 8 for Boston.
course, this is a memorable building for you. Kevin Sullivan of the Mavericks was telling me today this is where the career of what he calls Mr. Maverick began.
Yeah, I was
called up from the Anchorage
Northern Knights. Flew into Dallas that night and had a practice and got on a plane and played here the next day. Really enjoyed it. Dick Motta played me about 20 minutes my first game, and I loved it.
That was the start of a 15-year career with the Mavericks. And you almost won that night.
Yeah, we did. We kept it close.
Turnaround jump shot by Xavier McDaniel, and X marks the spot as it's a 31-24 game. Dallas.
He's one of those double scoring figure guys off the bench we talked about in our open. You can't let a guy like X get hot inside.
Now we have a loose ball foul call down low. It's going to be a jump ball call.
Yeah, it was a little low entry pass, a little bit low to Mashburn. Good job keeping it alive, though, by Mash. Here's a pass. Actually, it's a kick ball, it looked like, by Dee Brown. No call. They're going to get the jump ball.
Mashburn easily gets the tip as Legler is now in the game, a good outside shooter. He has the ball now against Kevin Gamble. Doug Smith working high with 12 on the shot clock. We're in the first minute of the second quarter. Dallas holding to a 7-point lead over the Celtics. Lucious Harris has the ball hacked away by Dee Brown. Brown with a good assist, and then the return pass comes back to the left flank, but there'll be a foul call on Dallas on the play.
Yeah, Lucious Harris came back and pushed in the back on that play. That's what the Celtics want to do in this building, is get out and run, though. First half, the Mavericks did a good job getting back. Lucious filled, got there a little bit too late, picked up the second foul.
Now they rim the basket, but Xavier McDaniel beats everybody to the loose ball. So the Celtics down by 7 on their home floor in the midst of a 4-game win streak. Here is Ala Abdelnaby, a former standout at Duke. His first shot of the night. A bank shot's down, and it's a 5-point game, Dallas.
That's Abdelnaby's second game back tonight. The first game he struggled. He's another guy that can score on the blocks for you.
Abdelnaby rejects Lucious Harris. Mashburn pulls up for a 3 and knocks it down. And that makes it a 34-26 game.
For that three-pointer, Whataburger is going to donate $50 to the Dallas Mavericks charities. What a 3 by Jamal Mashburn.
Jamal off to a fast start. He has 10 points for the Mavericks.
He is. It's good to see. That 3 right there had a lot of confidence in it. Good arch on it.
Here's Rick Fox against Mashburn. Outside to Gamble as they double up on the ball. Fox launching long range, and he strokes a 3-point shot.
And the Boston Celtics are not a big 3-point shooting team, but that's a big 3 by Rick Fox there to match Mashburn's.
No, they are not. They don't try a lot of them. But Fox evens off the 3-point count. Each team with a 1. Here is Harris struggling to get the ball. Dee Brown comes up with it again. A long lead to Rick Fox, and he is left alone. To the inside shot. And that cuts the Dallas lead to 3 points. It's been as high as 9 here in the first quarter, in the first half.
Quinn Buckner is going to get a 22nd timeout. The crowd's starting to get into it a little bit. Quinn's going to try to take him out of it.
This is the first of the 603rd straight game that the Boston Garden has been sold out, dating back to 1980.
Very knowledgeable basketball fans here in Boston, too. Probably the most knowledgeable in the league.
Right now, with 9:28 to go in the first half, it's Dallas 34, Boston 31. Jamal Mashburn with 10 points for the Mavericks. Now here's Brad Davis to go to the chalkboard.
Don, here's the weak side of that triangle offense. Nice play by Fat Lever. Here's a staggered screen down for Fat. He uses the screens well. Here's Fat here. He's got his man trailing him. Parrish is in the middle, waiting to help out on defense. Fat's going to curl. Good job by Sean Rooks. Stepping up, finding the open spot. Parrish is all the way over there. Sean Rooks takes it up. Good finish. Gets the foul. And
well drawn up on the iMasters telestrator replay as we're back to live action now. 9:25 to go in the first half. Mavericks by 3. Legler against Gamble. They clear aside. Now bring Mashburn down low against Rick Fox. Mashburn fading away. In and out. Rebound to Abdelnaby.
That was still a good positive move down low by Mash. That one went about halfway down and came out. You'd like to see him get those kind of shots.
Gamble against Legler out high. They try to loop it low. They've been doing a lot of loop passes down low as they fire out to Fox and then to Abdel Nabi. So the Celtics get their passing game working, and they come back to within one.
Good job by the Celtics that time, throwing it over the top. Good skip pass inside to Abdel Nabi.
Boston now on a 7-0 run as Mashburn comes down low and gets the bounce. He's got 12 points, and he extends the Dallas lead to 3.
Mash really looks aggressive on the offensive end. He's looking for a shot. He's looking to take it inside a number of times. You like to see that when a guy's going through a shooting slump.
And the more you see him, Brad, you have to believe his game is really down low more than outside, where he's been a lot lately. Here is McDaniel starting to the basket. He is fouled apparently by Terry Davis, who's come into the game for Dallas.
Yeah, Terry jumped in front, got him a little bit with the shoulder. You're right, Don, though, on Mashburn. I think the stuff that he does inside, I think, opens up his outside game. When he's scoring well inside, guys tend to drop off him, give him the outside shot, give him a little bit more room. It goes from inside to the outside for Mash, I think.
Xavier McDaniel, a 13.1 point a game scorer. He's given the Celtics a big lift in recent days. Their coaches assessing who's been good for them lately. Point to Sherman Douglas, #1. He's been the most improved player during this 4-game win streak. But they look to McDaniel also as a guy that always gives them a lift off the bench.
He does. He's a hard-nosed player, gets a lot of offensive rebounds, stickbacks. He's going to be a force in there. You've got to keep him off the boards.
Nicely done by Fat Lever, getting the rebound and the missed free throw, and then he is hacked by Xavier McDaniel. McDaniel with 2 fouls.
Mavericks are going very small here, Don. They've got a 3-guard offense. Celtics, on the other hand, have gone very big. They've got Rick Fox playing Jimmy Jackson at the 2-guard and Gamble playing Legler at the 3 spot.
Now they're ruling on that last foul as it was on Abdel Nabi. Now that man it appeared to be on Xavier McDaniel. That was the first on Abdel Nabi and the first on Boston here in the second quarter. Legler turning and firing just before the shot clock expired.
That's a tough shot right there over Kevin Gamble. 2 former CBA players who have done very well in the NBA matched up against each other.
They clear aside for Dee Brown against Fat Lever, wondering if Fat has the quickness to stay with lightning fast Dee Brown. Now Mavericks doing a good job doubling up on the ball. Here comes McDaniel going hard to the basket, and he hits the big man Abdel Nabi for yet another slam dunk. Good job by the Celtics. The Mavericks are going to double anything down low. Good ball rotation, nice drive and dish by the X-Man. 6 points for Abdel Nabi off the bench. 9 turnovers in the game for Dallas, just 5 for Boston. Celtics have been hawking the ball, forcing some turnovers, just lunging at it, tipping it away. Legler again pulls up as the shot clock was almost out. Boston 5 of 6 second quarter shooting. Dee Brown, who likes to launch it, hits the jump shot to tie the game at 38. Celtics are starting to get a little more relaxed on the offensive end. They've got a couple easy ones inside, starting to hit a couple outside jumpers. The Celtics have now hit their last 5 shots in the field to tie the game. Shot clock down to 7 as Legler is harassed. Lever firing and knocking it down with the shot clock again almost out. Boston really giving a hard time to Dallas getting their offense going. Another $50 by Whataburger to the Dallas Mavericks charities. What a 3 by Fat. Xavier McDaniel looks at the shot clock. It's down to 8. He is well defended by Davis, and now Gamble fires a 3. Rebound to Abdel Nabi, a race for the ball, and Dee Brown comes up with it for Boston. Fires to Abdel Nabi, who's having a career here in the second quarter. For a guy only his second game back, he's really done a good job. He's been very effective. Quinn Buckner's going to get a timeout here. Talking over 22nd. Abdel Nabi's come off the bench to score 8 for the Celtics, but the Mavericks still lead the game 41-40. Jamal Mashburn leading the scoring with 12 points so far for Dallas. Mass is getting a rest on the bench. He's really done a good job for the Mavericks. So got things started inside. It's opened things up outside for these guys. Fat hit a big 3 for him there. Jimmy Jackson shot the ball well too. AT&T 3-point shooting around the NBA. Stevie Kerr of the Chicago Bulls is the top percentage shooter, almost 51% from the arc. Mark Price of Cleveland now number 2. Nate McMillan of Seattle. He's a good player too, and there's a guy that I know very well at the bottom of that list. Mark Aguirre has snuck up in there. Dwyer said the other day, Brad, this is his last year.
Well, Mark said that 2 years ago, too.
He'll come back more times than Durante. Huh?
Yes.
Inside scoring has told an interesting story tonight.
Mavericks have really done a good job, and a lot of those been on fast breaks. They're outscoring Boston 18-16 on the inside scoring.
Boston picking up their inside game with Abdel Nabi here in the second quarter. Now Tim Legler spinning and shooting. Draws a foul that'll send him to the free throw line with 5:46 to go in the first half. Dee Brown gets his third. Legler, an 83% free throw shooter. He's averaging 8.4 points a game off the bench for Dallas. Rick Fox now comes back in the game as Dee Brown sits down with 3 personal fouls. Dallas had 10 free throw attempts in the first quarter. And this is just the first and second of the second quarter, both by Legler. And Tim Legler ups the Dallas lead to 43-40 as Abdel Nabi is looking for more.
Boston once again is going to push the ball at you, especially in this building. Good job by the Mavericks getting back as a team, cutting him off.
Here's Fox. Gamble has the ball tipped away by Jackson. And as Kevin Gamble heads to the basket, there's going to be a foul call. Might be on Jim Jackson. Legler's going to get it.
Yeah, it looked like Paul Mahalik had one guy, and he let Eddie Rush go ahead and make the call, and Eddie had Tim Legler on the reach-in.
So Gamble goes to the free throw line now for the Celtics. Makes it a 2-point game. Mavericks move on to Philadelphia next, then to Washington. Then they're back home on Saturday night, the 29th, to play the Sacramento Kings at Reunion Arena.
Mavericks have a good stretch here where they can pick up a couple wins. They're playing some teams, and they're playing pretty well right now.
Jimmy Jackson has it rejected. Ball is knocked out, taken down by Fat Lever. And then quickly upcourted to Sherman Douglas, who's back in the game. And here's Rick Fox shooting a 3. Legler coming up with the ball and goes to Lever.
Celtics are not a three-point shooting team. It's amazing. I think they've shot more threes today than they have in the last week.
Nice assist inside to Sean Rooks, who now has 8 points for Dallas.
Good job by Sean Rooks, turning the table, running the court just like Robert Parrish does. Sean Rooks snuck down the middle, got an easy hoop. Nice pass. Gamble pulling up. And Kevin Gamble, a 6'5" sharpshooter, has come off the bench to hit 3 field goals. And it's again a 1-point game, Dallas. Ball coming back inbounds now to the Celtics. Mavericks looked that time to post up Jimmy Jackson inside. Nice play because Fox got on the top side. They swung it around to Sean Rooks at the top of the key. Tried throwing the lob over the top, a little bit too much on it. Mavericks have turned the ball over 10 times, but it really hasn't hurt them tonight. They've done a good job of scoring on the other end.
Now the missed shot by Sherman Douglas is rebounded by Sean Rooks, and here comes Jim Jackson. Jackson down low against Fox. Celtics will make you get those from the line.
Not a lot of room down there. Had about 4 Celtics on him down there.
Gamble pulling up again off the dribble. He now has 8. And the Celtics have taken the lead for just the second time in the game. They led earlier 13-11. Here is Rooks down low. Moving against Abdel Nabi. Sean Rooks with a good low post move.
Nice move once again, reminiscent of the guy that played in this building, Kevin McHale. Nice up and under move by Sean Rooks.
They'll be retiring Kevin's number 32 as mentioned next Sunday. 10 points for Sean Rooks. It almost went. The foul is on Fat Lever. And it sends Ala Abdel Nabi to the free throw line.
Good drive. Abdel Nabi, for only his second game back, Don, really seems active out there. He's running the court. He's shot the ball pretty well. He's caught the ball pretty well.
He not only has 8 points so far in the game, but he also has 5 rebounds. He was born in Cairo, Egypt. Ala Abdel Nabi grew up in Bloomfield, New Jersey, where he was a McDonald's All-American. Played at the same high school that Kelly Tripucka played at. 3:34 to go now in the first half. Game tied 47-all. Abdel Nabi looking to break the tie. And he does. Salah Abdel Nabi with 10 points and 5 rebounds has keyed the Celtics surge in this game.
Mavericks look like they're going to come down here and get that little triangle on the weak side here. Mashburn and Popeye, a little two-man game.
Jackson is left free for a long-range shot that's rebounded by Abdel Nabi. Find out what this guy had for dinner bread. Down low, the tips by the Celtics. 2 and 3 times don't go. And here come the Dallas Mavericks with Jim Jackson dribbling the ball. 6'6", 220 pounds. Lever. Long launch as the Mavericks are getting away from that inside game that works so well.
Yeah, the Celtics have made some adjustments. They're doubling down a lot harder than they did at the beginning of the game. But the Mavericks need to get some posts up in transition like they were doing earlier.
Gamble, if they let him free, he'll take it. He launches again. Rims the ring, and off it comes to Fat Lever for Dallas. Up to Jamal Mashburn, who's had a good low game tonight and scored 12 points. They're letting Lever have the shot. Now Mashburn squares up at the three-point line and drills his second in as many tries.
Boy, Whataburger's giving away some money tonight. Another $50. The Mavericks charities. What a three by Jamal.
Chris Ford of the Celtics infuriated by something in his defense, and he wants a timeout. As Jamal Mashburn is really starting to light it up, he scored 15 points as the Mavericks have back the lead. And coming up at halftime, basketball is not the only passion for Jim Jackson. There's Jim Jackson, the pool hustler. You'll see Jim with his stick at halftime. Michael Jordan is a great pool player, not many people know.
Jimmy Jackson, it's funny, I met a guy at a Mavericks game that was a Texas State champion. Got to talking to him, and he knew Jackson liked pool. Asked me if I could set up a meeting with him and Jackson, and I did, and turned into something very special for Jimmy.
I'll tell you one thing, the guy who's ever the Texas State champion is pretty good. There's a lot of great pool players in Texas.
There are.
Dan Hampton, who played for the Bears, told me that he plays a lot of pool, that Jordan's the best pool player he's ever seen that wasn't a pro.
Well, Michael Jordan does everything. Baseball, golf, pool.
Here is Fox with a high bank rebound to McDaniel, and he gets the offensive rebound and the putback, and he ties the game at 50.
That's where X is at his best, is on the offensive glass. He's relentless. He's got that ability to put shots back.
Rebound down to Randy White. He's hacked down the arm. Looked like Rick Fox got him.
Good job by Randy sneaking in along the opposite baseline. Anytime a shot's taken from one corner, the obvious spot for the rebound to come is off the other way. Randy did a nice job sneaking underneath and getting it.
Big Randy White. Okay, he's ready for winter when he comes north. He had a fine-looking fur coat on there today.
They do. They come up here, all kinds of heavy coats and fur and everything else on them.
Free throws don't go, and here comes Boston looking to break the lead as we're now down to 1:35 to play in the first half. Don Criqui with Brad Davis at Boston Garden. The Mavericks have led most of the way. Boston has taken 1-point leads twice. Here is a low post move now by McDaniel, who's been hot.
Next man's really starting to heat up for this team. They're going to him inside. He's really responded well to him. Good post-up move by X.
And Boston, for the third time, has the lead in the game. Rick Fox playing that dig-it-out defense. And now we're going to have a foul call on Randy White, who had a grab at the arm of Sherman Douglas to prevent him from grabbing the ball and throwing a breakaway pass.
Yeah, I think Eddie Rush missed the initial foul on Jimmy Jackson, though. It looked like Jimmy Jackson got hacked as he came off this curl. Little reach in there by Rick Fox. They get Randy here for grabbing Sherman Douglas. Good acting by Sherman. When you're small like that, anytime a big guy lays a hand on you, you fall to the floor. Most of the time, the referee will call it.
Douglas at the free throw line makes it a 53-50 game. Boston with its biggest lead, a 3-point advantage with 1:07 to go in the first half. Jackson with the rebound as we are now down to 1:01 to play in the first half. Legler, a three-point shooter, back in the game. Mashburn with 2 threes tonight, playing the deep outside.
Mash is basically running a point here. It's his option on what he wants to do. Nice drive, just couldn't get it to finish.
But the Chief at 7 feet gets the rebound. Sherman Douglas pushing it up. Ball knocked around Jackson's good hands, come away with it. It's a 3-on-1 break. Lead to Mashburn. And Jamal Mashburn will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 with 38 seconds to play.
Good job by Jamal, taking it right at Robert Parrish. Here's Jimmy Jackson. Good decision on the break. He's got the typical 3-on-2. No look pass to Mashburn. Comes up and underneath. Parrish reaches in and fouls.
Jamal Mashburn now finding the range from the free throw line. He is 4 of 6 from the line. And the leading scorer in the game with 16 points and now 17 as he gets the bounce. It's a 53-52 game. Boston.
Boston is really being uncharacteristic on the break. Over the years, Boston's always been noted for their fast break efficiency. Tonight they've looked absolutely horrible on the break.
Douglas can't get it to go. Here comes Legler. Quick move to Jim Jackson. He hooks it up and down. And the Dallas Mavericks come back to take the lead 54-53. Jackson with 9 points and a great floor game as the Celtics now set for the final shot.
Yeah, they're going to free out here with Sherman Douglas, run a little pick and roll with the Chief.
Chief is out high. Now he breaks off it as Douglas on the clear side drives to the basket. It doesn't go, but Sherman will go to the free throw line with less than a second to go in the first half. Sean Rooks getting his second personal foul.
That was pretty close to an offensive foul there. I thought Sean Rooks did a good job holding his ground, going straight up. Sherman Douglas going straight to the basket, goes into Sean Rooks quite a bit. If Sean doesn't come down with the arms, if he just stays up straight with the arms, he's got a good chance of getting an offensive foul called.
Sherman Douglas ties the game at 54 with 0.8 seconds remaining.
I got it out, Randy. I got it out.
And the Celtics take the lead as Sean Rooks now. Every team has an inbounds play. It's all the way down. Jamal Mashburn gets it, lets it fly. It would have been good if it went.
That was a slow hand on the buzzer. I like it up here in the garden.
Yeah, you don't usually get those on the road. But a very good first half of basketball for the Dallas Mavericks as they trail by just 1 on a night when the Celtics felt they had to put the knockout punch on early, but they were unable to do that. We'll be back with our halftime feature in a moment. His name on his shoe. And we open the third quarter with the Celtics in possession of the ball. This is Sherman Douglas against Fat Lever.
Celtics right away are going to go inside to Radja. It looks like they sent a screen across for him. See if he can take advantage of Popeye Jones.
Quickly they move it out to Dee Brown. He can't get it to work, and here comes Dallas with its first possession of the third quarter.
Mavericks are going to do a little swing, getting into a little action here right there, going right into the post with Sherman Douglas.
Jackson trying to go over the head, can't get it to work to Popeye. The ball caroms back to him, so Jim Jackson does the next best thing, stick it in the hole.
Good weak side cut by Jimmy Jackson. Nice pass back to himself to get it to follow up.
Takes some doing, doesn't it, to assist yourself? Does he get an assist on that? Here's Dino Radja in and out. Sean Rooks rebounds as Dallas, again, as they did at the outset of the game, comes out with an early burst.
Try to take control early, keep Boston out of the game early in the third quarter.
Mashburn, you don't call a foul. Radja comes up with the ball. Douglas quickly up court to Fox. 3 Mavericks are back to shut off the break, but Fox still finds his way to the basket, and while the shot doesn't go, he will go to the free throw line.
Good job by Rick Fox keeping his dribble alive. He had the little 17-footer, decided he wanted something in a little bit closer. Good job right here on the wing. Fox sees Popeye still moving, crossover dribble, gets something going to the basket. Sort of a ticky-tack foul on that one, but Ed Rush makes a call underneath.
Second foul on Popeye Jones. Rick Fox has now scored 9 points, and he has 6 assists for the Boston Celtics.
Good passing forward. Played at North Carolina, so you know he knows how to pass, playing for Dean Smith down there.
And Dallas, trailing by 1 at the half, maintains its 1-point lead, 56-55 here in the third quarter. Fox harassing Mashburn. Mashburn with a great handle, ability to dribble the ball, but his pass to Jackson is errant. Turns over, looked like it jammed Jim Jackson's thumb.
Yeah, that's a hand Jimmy Jackson's had problems with all season. He's got a couple bad fingers on there that have been jammed and stubbed and everything else.
Radja dishes off, and the Chief comes from off the weak side and stuffs the ball. He has 11, and the Celtics have a 57-56 lead.
If you're going to double team in the post, you've got to drop on the weak side too. That time Parrish was able to sneak in from the weak side. Nobody picked him up. He got the dunk.
Brooks with a good move to the basket. Robert Parrish with the defensive rebound. Quickly up court to Fox. Hit only glass, and here comes Fat Lever the other way.
Good job by the Mavericks pushing it right back at him. See if there's anything there in transition.
Jim Jackson has trouble controlling the ball, and it turns back over to Boston.
Might have been one of those dead spots in the Garden floor here. They've got a number of them out there. You just got to seem to know where they're at.
They all talk about the dead spots, and every Celtic knows where they are. And they also talk about in the playoffs that leprechaun that sits up on the rim and swats away the opposing team shots. Radja with a good spin move and the finger roll, and the Celtics have a 3-point lead, 59-56.
Yeah, Xavier McDaniel, after they lost a few in a row here at home, said the leprechaun was on vacation this year. He wasn't here to look over it.
Here's Radja rebounding. Sherman Douglas leading the break. He goes to Fox, driving on Mashburn. Fat Lever reaches in and gets him on the arm.
Yeah, good job though by Fat trying to drop in there and get the call. That's going to be 3 on Fat. Good job helping out though. Anytime somebody gets into the middle, you've got to have blue jerseys in there. Fat was in there.
Here's Sherman Douglas out high as he goes over to Dee Brown, who's quick to shoot if he gets a moment's notice. Any free room, and Dee Brown will let it go, and a good defensive play by Doug Smith, who digs hard to the other end, looking for the return pass. Ball swatted away from Lever, and here comes Fox ahead of the field, and Rick Fox on a breakaway slam dunk extends the Boston lead to 5, their biggest lead of the game.
And Quinn's going to tell him to bring it down here and call a timeout. He doesn't want to make a run here early in the third quarter and bring the crowd into it.
So with 8:48 to go in the third quarter, there's timeout on the floor with the Boston Celtics now up 61-56. The lifelong Boston Celtic fan.
Yeah, and a nice thing he's doing for the kids in Dallas, picking out specific groups for each of the games that he's bought tickets for, putting something back into the community. Nice job by Lou Harris.
Now a high pass cross court, too much on it. It gets away from Lever, and the Mavericks, with 4 turnovers here early in the third quarter, give the ball back to the Celtics.
Celtics right here getting off to a good start, 3 for 6. Mavericks only 1 for 4. Celtics want to put the ball inside and want to run. That's what they're doing.
Harris with a wide advantage. Lever comes over to help hawk him, and now they kick it out with a 3-point try that's short by Rick Fox, and Fat Lever brings the ball down quickly for Dallas the other way.
A lot of life in the Mavericks, so that time Smith and Mashburn both were running the lanes, both open on the break.
Mashburn starts to drive on Fox. Ball is tipped away from him, but Jamal Mashburn will look for his first points of the second half from the free throw line.
Looks like they got Robert Parrish for banging him with the body. Good drive that time by Mashburn. Here's Mash. Doesn't use a crossover, goes all the way baseline, jumps back into Parrish, creates a contact, gets the free throws.
Mashburn now 5 of 8 from the free throw line. 17 points for the night, all in the first half. Tim Legler comes back in the game now for Dallas. He'll be working with Jim Jackson, Mashburn, Sean Rooks, and Doug Smith. Celtics still going with their starting 5 here in the third quarter. Sherman Douglas quickly up court with the ball. And he's got 6'8" Jamal Mashburn on him now. They clear aside. Try to isolate him.
This is an interesting matchup here. I don't know if it's just because Jamal shot the free throw and couldn't get back in time.
The Chief, Parrish, throws up a wild-looking number that's taken down by Tim Legler. Mashburn with all those moves. It doesn't go. And now, as Sherman Douglas cocks an elbow at Mashburn, they exchange glares, and tipped in ball extends the Boston lead to 63-57.
You still got to like the move by Mashburn. No, crossover dribble beats a 6-foot point guard to the basket.
Mavericks need a hit down here, Brad. They've missed their last 5 shots.
Here's that single double for Tim Legler. He's got the option of going out either side. Came off the single. Good shot.
Good way to get out of the shooting slump. Get it to Legler for the jumper. Now as Robert Parrish goes to the basket, there'll be a foul call on Sean Rooks.
Good job by Robert Parrish once again, like we talked in the open. Robert Parrish running down the middle of the court. You've got to get to him. You've got to see the ball because they look for Robert Parrish. Beginning of the 3rd quarter, beginning of the 1st quarter.
Parrish having a good night.
Yeah, 13 points, 9 rebounds. The Chief is always going to be consistent in there. He's going to give it to you every night.
Now at 14 with that first free throw, he'll try for a second. As the Celtics look to up their lead again to 6 points, which they do. Jim Jackson now working with the ball. Gets some help from Doug Smith to get it up against Dee Brown. These Celtics are quick, these backline players.
There's that stack offense again where they run Timmy Legler off the single double. Good curl, good pass, good follow by Mashburn.
That's good basketball.
Yes, it is. Nice curl by Timmy Legler. A little bounce pass to Sean Rooks, who missed the layup. Mashburn's right there to put it in.
We have 6.5 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Mashburn already has 20 points. Radja takes about 4 instead. Is there such a thing as traveling in this league? Sometimes.
That was a European drive there. I think you get 2.5 steps over in the European league.
Last time we checked, this was an NBA game, though. More like football. Tucked it under his arm and ran with it. Doug Smith with a nice assist to Rooks, who was fouled on an excellent foul by Robert Parrish. As Rooks had a sure slam dunk, but now he'll have to get his 2 points from the line.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 on Parrish. Nice pass by Doug Smith, one of the better passing forwards in the league. Sean Rooks takes it up strong. Nice going. On the other end, here's Dino Radja. 1, 2. I got away with 2 steps. They'll let him take 2 steps. They were just long steps from the free throw line.
Sean Rooks at the line. He now has 13 points, and Sean also has 8 rebounds so far in the game. And Sean Rooks, who couldn't get the slam on the foul, does get the 2 free throws, and he makes it a 4-point game. Boston. Paul McConnell, our producer tonight for KTVT. Clay Armstrong, our director. As driving hard to the basket is Sherman Douglas, and Sherman ends up on the deck.
That's Sherman Douglas's game right there. Penetration, drive and dish, or drive and shoot. This time he goes. Sean Rooks is there. Tim Legler's there. He creates a contact, throws it up there. Is going to get 2 free throws. Not a very good free throw shooter. Only 63% on the year for Sherman Douglas, and he shoots up some ugly free throws.
Maybe he'll give us one now. Yeah, that one found the mark. Makes it a 5-point Boston lead. X is on the deck. That Larry Bird to stretch out the back routine.
There's a lot of guys using that now. Rodman's using it. Some guys up in New York.
Rodman can do whatever he wants, including show up in the middle of the 1st quarter. We saw him get 32 rebounds the other night.
That was an impressive performance by Dennis Rodman.
Jim Stamos, totaling the numbers here, points out that Sherman Douglas has been shooting better, Brad, in the free throw line as Legler hits for Dallas. The last couple of games from the line, he's hitting 71%, which is excellent for him. Now Douglas cutting across as he is stopped by Smith, who jumps out.
Looking inside, here's Fox just on a little bit of curl play, curled into the middle, got the pass, finishes it, going to the free throw line.
So after the Mavericks cut it to 3, Boston again goes up by 5 and goes to the line.
Here it is once again. You catch a ball in deep. Nice finish by Fox. Had a guy in front of him. Sean Rooks fouling him from behind. Still able to get it to go down.
14 points now for Rick Fox. Had an interesting youth. He grew up, actually, was born in the Bahamas and then played in Warsaw, Indiana in high school basketball. Down low, the Mavericks go, and Jackson fires it out to Legler. He pulls up from 12. Rebound fought for. Jackson comes down with it. Radja comes over and takes it away. Outlet goes to Sherman Douglas. Fox in the left flank. Lead to Fox. And that ignites Boston Garden.
Celtics are starting to get the crowd back into the ball game. Quinn's going to call a timeout over here.
the Celtics take their biggest lead, an 8-point advantage, 73-65. The Metroplex Dillard's ticket location. First 2,500 kids 16 and under on Friday night, February 4th, when the LA Lakers come in. Get all those good things as we're back to live action now. Doug Smith fighting to keep the ball. Here's a give from Jackson to Rooks, up and down and off the rim. Slapped into side court, and the quick Dee Brown comes over to field it for the Celtics.
Mavericks have really struggled trying to get something to go down. Boston's turned up the heat on the fast break, and ain't nothing run on the fast break. Points have gotten the Celtics ahead and the crowd into this ball game.
And this, of course, Brad, is what Boston wanted to do early, get its running game going, its push game, as they call it. As Radja goes to the hoop, he has the ball rejected and stops the clock with 4:11 to play. Foul call.
Good spin move that time by Radja. Once again, a good European player. Look where he posts up. A lot of this is due to the fact that he's played international ball. He posts up usually 2 feet outside the lane because he's used to the angled free throw lanes that they have in international rules that don't go straight down to the baseline. They angle out. Anytime you see him set up, he's always about 2 feet away from the block down there.
Radja, who was a star in Europe, is not yet 27 years old. He was originally drafted by the Celtics in the second round in '89. He stayed in Europe. He had some pretty rough times playing against some American teams. Some of the NBA teams who went over there did not look good at all at times, and they really wanted what they had. But he's come in this year, and there's been an adjustment for people like Radja, and certainly Kukoc, the European Player of the Year the last 2 years, who is now with the Chicago Bulls. But they have NBA games. There's no question about that.
They do, and it's just a matter of them getting used to everything about playing in the NBA. As you see, Jamal Mashburn doing a good job sealing in the middle and drawing the foul. European players are used to playing once, maybe twice at the most a week. NBA, you sometimes play 4, maybe even 5 games in a week. It's a longer season, more physical, more travel. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration.
The wearing of that many more games is really what gets most of them. Like college players, here's Jamal Mashburn's already. Last year, his Kentucky team was 30-4. That was a long season. Went to the Final Four. He's already played over 34 games, and he's a long way from them.
The end of the year, I tell you, the All-Star break a lot of times doesn't come too soon during the year. Sometimes you're ready for it. It's a nice 3-day break where you can refresh yourself.
Dee Brown with a lot of backspin on the ball, knocks down the jumper to make it a 77-67 game. Celtics have made their last 5 shots. Mashburn down to Jackson. He's rejected by the high-jumping 6'1" Dee Brown. And the ball will come inbounds to Dallas.
And Dee Brown looked at Jimmy Jackson, and they both nodded. See if we can get the end of this. Good block by Dee Brown. Jimmy Jackson tries to make the pass. They both came in. They looked at each other, gave themselves a nod of approval.
Kickball violation.
Jamal Mashburn will inbound the ball now. Kick violation that time on Boston. Dallas will have a new 24-second clock to work with. Going to try to post Timmy Legler on Sherman Douglas here.
Legler gives the Mavericks a much-needed hoop. The Mavericks have hit only 5 of 14 shots here in the third quarter. Tim Legler now has 10 points in the game. The Mavericks shot 53% in the first half.
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit. The balls are going down and coming out. Nice patience that time by Tim Legler, backing down Sherman Douglas, shooting over him.
8-point lead Celtics as the Chief Robert Parrish looks for the cutters. Dee Brown strokes a line drive jumper, and Parrish at age 40 in his 18th year out hustles people to the ball.
Robert is still quick. He's one of the more active, more quick centers in the league.
10 rebounds now for the Chief Robert Parrish. Jump shot doesn't go, but you get only so many chances, and pretty soon something's going to hit. 3 chances for the Celtics. They can't make it work. Up court pass to Jamal Mashburn.
Oh.
And again, he draws a shooting foul.
That was a nice move right there. Those people out there watching this game, watch how quick this move is. Crosses over left, spins back to the right. Keeps his hand on top of the ball, draws the foul, almost gets it to go.
It's a guy 6'8", 240 with moves like that. 22 points in the game. 2:37 to go in the third quarter. Mashburn has hit 6 of 13 field goal attempts, including 2 3-pointers. But now he's only 8 for 14 from the free throw line. Ball knocked around down low as Terry Davis is back in the game for Dallas. It'll come inbounds. Looks like a loose ball foul called on Boston.
They're going to get Rick Fox. He fumbled the pass and then went over the back.
He gets his third. And Terry Davis heads to the free throw line. Limited playing time tonight for big Terry Davis with 2:29 to go in the third quarter. Celtics led by a point at the half. At the moment they lead 77-70.
Mavericks right here need to get a couple stops on the defensive end, get this lead down to about 3 points, taking it into the fourth quarter. You're right there then.
Terry Davis strokes a couple of important free throws now to cut the lead back down to 6. Radja trying to move on Davis. He's shut off, and Dino Radja gets the jump shot up and down.
Oh, a nice little up and down fake by Radja. Terry Davis did a pretty good job defensively. Radja read that he wasn't going for the fake, went up and shot over top of him.
Radja with 10 points in the game. Terry Davis now looking for somebody open. He finds Rooks, and who knocks it down.
It's another area where Sean Rooks has really improved is his outside shooting. Now he can take centers out to the free throw line. There's not a lot of centers in the league that will follow big guys out there.
You talked right at the outset how important his contribution tonight would be, and Sean Rooks is responding. 16 points so far.
It's keeping him busy on the defensive end.
Fox cutting across the lane, launches and then flies into his teammates on the bench, but it goes.
Gave somebody a little high five, it looked like, over there, headed down the other end of the court.
Rick Fox having a good game for the Celtics. He scored 18 points. Legler leading to Rooks, dishes to Davis, who saves it. Mavericks working hard to get something going low.
Just a little quick pick and roll. Nothing out of the offense, but just good decision that time. Terry Davis saw the shot clock running down, went out and set a pick for Jimmy Jackson, freed him up for the jumper.
Dee Brown again with the outside shot. And he makes it an 8-point game. Celtics with less than a minute to go now in the third quarter. Mashburn down low. No foul call, and saved nicely by Rick Fox.
Good job by Mash getting down there early, though, in transition. Lost the handle on it. Celtics pick it up.
Radja against Davis. Couple of big bodies. Terry Davis body checks him. Douglas feeds to Abdelnaby. Basket goes, and Abdelnaby goes to the free throw line.
That's where Sherman Douglas is so effective. That time he threw it into Radja. His man Tim Legler doubles. Sherman Douglas cuts into the paint, draws Sean Rooks, dishes over to Abdelnaby. Chance for a three-point play.
So big Ala Abdelnaby heads to the free throw line. Are they waving the basket off? Oh, they're waving the foul off. It's going to be on Davis now. He was fouled in the act of shooting, so the basket goes to make it a 10-point Boston lead. And Ala Abdelnaby's point production is 12 now, with 7 rebounds to go with it.
Let's see if Quinn Buckner goes 2 for 1 here. There's 38.5 seconds left. Push the ball down, get a little quick pick and roll or something quick inside. Try to get 2 shots for 1, get this lead down to about 6.
Rebound to Rooks. Pat Lever back in the game now, working against Dee Brown. Lever, a 2-time All-Star in his days with the Denver Nuggets. Out to Legler, defended by Gamble. Tim Legler shooting off the dribble. Rebound comes down to Fox. Here comes Dee Brown.
Celtics are going to hold right here for 1 shot. They're going to be able to run out the 24-second clock. Last time they ran a pick and roll high with Robert Parrish. He's not in. They're going to use Radja now.
7 seconds to go in the quarter. Dee Brown rims the hoop. Here comes Jim Jackson. 1 second. He's got a launch. There it goes as the buzzer sounds. It's off the mark. And the Boston Celtics, who led by just a point at the half, extend that lead now to 10 after 3 quarters of play. It's Boston 85, Dallas 75. Davis back at a home of champions, the Boston Garden, where 16 NBA title banners hang on high. And the game summary to this point.
Mashburn having an outstanding game in his first starting role back in a few. Rick Fox has played well for the Boston Celtics. The big thing is the inside scoring. Boston's got 40, Dallas has 28. second half, Boston's got 32 of those 40. A lot of those have come on the fast breaks, as we see some people from Dallas here rooting on the Mavericks in the Boston Garden.
There are indeed some of those fans, as right now the Mavericks send out Terry Davis, Sean Rooks, Jim Jackson, Fat Lever with the ball, and Tim Legler. We start the fourth quarter. Mavericks have never won at Boston Garden, 0-13 here, and we talked about the Knicks and their 23-game losing streak. Celtics have been dominant in this building. A big shot by Sean Rooks cuts the lead to 8.
Good job by the Mavericks going right in. He's got Abdul Nabi on him, who's a forward. Sean took one dribble, took it into the middle, shot the little jump hook over it.
Sean has 18 points for Dallas. This quarter's scoring brought to you by Chili's. Here's Rick Fox. Leaving free, and he knocks it down. Rick Fox having a big night, 20 points. He's also rebounded well and assisted. He's had one of his best games of the season. He has been the most important player on the floor tonight for the Boston Celtics, as Jim Jackson puts people in the air and then goes up and hits the jump shot from 8 feet out.
Good penetration that time by Jimmy Jackson. Came to a jump stop right in the paint on balance. Nice little pump fake, got everybody up in the air, shot over him.
And he now has 15 points for the game. Here's Kevin Gamble working off a screen set by Radja, and Gamble shoots off the dribble.
Gamble really gave these guys a lift in the first half when he came in, shot the ball well. Trying to do the same thing here in the second.
A 10-point lead for Boston. 10 points for Gamble off the bench as Jackson goes baseline, dishes out to Rooks, and he fires out to Legler. Shot clock is now down to 6. Terry Davis underneath is rejected from behind by Fox, but out to Jim Jackson, who hits it.
Good job by Jimmy Jackson hanging around for the long rebound. The shot was blocked out there to the free throw line. Picked it up, got the jumper to go.
And the Mavericks continue to hang in with a lot of time left. 10 minutes to go as Popeye Jones is getting set to come back in. Greg Dreiling getting set to come in. A nice steal by Legler, or by Fat Lever, who tips it back to Legler, and here comes Jim Jackson.
Pushing it to see if anyone's there. Good steal by Gamble, filling the lane. Jimmy Jackson never saw him coming down.
So the Celtics steal it right back with 9:45 to play in the game. Boston leading 89-81. Gamble forcing a shot and getting it.
Gamble and Legler are going back after each other. Like we said, two CBA players really attacking each other.
And now Quinn Buckner and the Mavericks want to talk it over, as there's 9:30 showing on the fourth quarter clock. Mashburn high score in the game with 22. Rick Fox has scored 20 with 6 assists so far for the Boston Celtics. That's a silent auction. February 4th versus the LA Lakers. March 5th versus the Utah Jazz. Fat Lever gets the inbound pass now from Mashburn. 9:20 to go in the ball game. As we look at bench scoring, the Celtics with a decided advantage there.
Yeah, Kevin Gamble and Xavier McDaniel and Abdul Nabi all have given him a big lift off the bench. Maverick starters have played well, though. 24-second violation. Good defense that time by the Celtics. Fat Lever tried to get something going to the basket. Dee Brown made the block.
Dee Brown brings the ball up court. Abdul Nabi down low now against Dreiling as they isolate Abdul Nabi against Dreiling, and Dreiling nicely rejects him from behind.
Good job that time also by Popeye Jones coming over from the weak side, cutting off the baseline, making it a difficult shot for Abdul Nabi.
Abdul Nabi 6'11", but Dreiling with a decided height advantage over him.
Yeah, so he'll try to step him out on the court and try to drive by him like he did that last time.
Gamble's been putting some stuff in off the dribble and off the run. He hits another one to extend Boston to its biggest lead, 93-81. 14 points now for Kevin Gamble. And
Kevin Gamble has done a great job shooting the ball. 6 for 10 from the field, really stroking him well.
Jackson kicks it back out to Jamal Mashburn, but Gamble's right on him. Mashburn goes cross court to Lever, and again, good Celtic defense forces a shot clock violation and a turnover.
Yeah, the Mavericks were a little unorganized that time on the offensive end. Dreiling came out, tried to set a pick for Mashburn. He might have been better just letting Jamal have that whole cleared side, trying to create something with the clock running down.
8:12 to go now. Look at the turnovers in the game. Dallas to the 17-10 turnover disadvantage. 7 more turnovers by the Mavericks. Rick Fox with a fake loses Fat Lever and then hits it from 10 feet out. 22 for Rick Fox.
Nice little head and shoulder fake right there by Rick Fox. Got the defensive man up in the air. Quinn Buckner is going to call his 22nd timeout here.
Manute Bol had a big night the other night. He scored.
My buddy Nudie finally broke into the scoring column. The only guy all season that's been on the roster the whole year that has not scored. Finally hit a field goal, got 2 points. Way to go, Newt.
Charles Barkley said about him, Brad, Manute Bol can't score when he's shooting around by himself.
He can block some shots, though. If you've ever tried to take it in against Manute or shoot over top of him, it's like shooting out of a well.
Bob Ferry told me when he played for Washington, he bought a car before he even had a license. He got himself a 4-wheel drive, and he had the front seat taken out, and he'd sit in the back seat and drive it. People would pull up next to him and with amazement, what is this back? You know, a guy sitting in the back seat driving a car. And they know his legs were 6 feet long. Fat Lever on the outside now. Dreiling is open, calling for the ball. Jamal Mashburn shoots long, and the rebound comes down to Gamble, and the Celtics are doing it like they like it, getting the rebounds and getting off and running. McDaniel low, ball tipped away, and it'll be inbounds to Boston.
Boston's very methodical a lot of times when it comes to running their offense. They're getting the ball good post-up position to McDaniel, to Abdul Nabi.
Rebound down to Popeye Jones. When Popeye comes in, you know you're going to get rebounds.
Yeah, he's going to be around the ball. He's got a nose for it.
Here's Dreiling. Screening for Jackson, almost to travel. Jackson with a jump shot. Rebound down to Fat Lever, and they get a new 24.
That's what you need to do. Get some shots when they're not falling. If you can crash the offensive boards like the Mavericks, you're going to come up with some extra ones. Hopefully this one will fall.
Jim Jackson is freed up, but he can't get it to go as McDaniel rebounds for the Celtics. Here's Gamble. He's been hot in the third quarter, making a lot of driving shots. McDaniel down low, rejected from behind by Fat Lever. McDaniel gets another chance. Abdul Nabi fights for it. McDaniel again as the Celtics keep getting chances. Finally an air ball turn. Gets it over into the hands of a Dallas Maverick, and Fat Lever goes down and lays it in to Jamal Mashburn, who puts it up and in.
Nice play on both ends of the court by Fat Lever. First rejecting Xavier McDaniel on the defensive end, then leading the break, making the nice pass to Jamal Mashburn.
Still a lot of time to play. You got some heavy-duty pushing going on down low between Abdul Nabi and Dreiling.
Kevin Gamble once again, as those guys fight down low. Gamble came free off a curl, wide open jumper.
Popeye Jones coming out high. Boston really collapsing in the paint here, Brad. Not giving much up inside.
Anytime a team is struggling like the Mavericks are, shooting the ball from the outside, they're going to drop back in and make you make a couple from the outside before they come back out after you.
Very little fouling here in the fourth quarter. That's only the first team foul against the Celtics with 5:48 to play. And there are no team fouls on Dallas in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fast break up and down action. Not a lot in the set offense for either team.
Indication of how they shut off the inside scoring. Dallas had 24 points inside in the first half, but just 10 in the second half.
Yeah, they're not getting a lot of stuff in transition. A lot of stuff now is out of the half-court offense. Nice pass that time by Sean Rooks.
Popeye Jones has really got fantastic hands, though. I mean, most guys wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Very soft hands. He catches the ball softly, receives it that way.
Here's Dee Brown. He's got that bounce. He goes up high. 3 Mavericks contend for the ball. Popeye Jones, their leading rebounder, comes down with it.
Mavericks have a chance to close it down now within 10.
Still a lot of time left as Dino Radja is getting set to come back in the game. 5:05 to play. Popeye Jones gets the miss by Jamal Mashburn. Should we give Jamal an assist on it? He didn't hit anything.
I think he saw Popeye on the weak side, threw it over the top. Let's give him an assist on that.
Popeye has 6 points and 5 rebounds. Gamble puts Van Lever on the deck. I tell you, it's getting rough down low. McDaniel. Is a hard-working man.
He is. That wasn't a very artistic series of plays, but for the Celtics, it resulted in a good. Here's Gamble knocking down Fat. First of all, hits the bottom of the board. Abdelnaby tries to go up. Popeye strips him. X-Man once again does the dirty work, digs it out inside, goes up strong, gets fouled, makes a basket.
McDaniel with 9 points and 8 rebounds so far in the game. 4:37 to play. Mavericks led throughout most of the first half. Celtics led by a point at halftime. At the moment, they're holding to a 12-point lead with 4.5 minutes to go.
It's getting to be that point, though, where the Mavericks have to get some stuff here on the offensive end and hold them on the defensive end. You can't trade baskets with them now.
Jamal Mashburn with a victory lap. The ball rolls around the rim and drops in.
They need a stop now. Good job. They've got it down to 10 points. You need a stop here, a couple stops. Get this thing down to 6 or 4 points.
Jamal with 26 points now. His career high in this is rookie season is 37. Here's Dino Radja freed up. Can't leave the Yugoslavians open for the open shot, no matter if they're 6, 7 feet tall or 6 feet tall. They all can shoot.
Yeah, he got that one down. They ran a little pick and roll play. Good seal in the middle by Randy White here.
It goes. And Randy White will go to the free throw line.
That's what you need more of against a team like Boston. In transition, get your big guys running down there into the lane. Randy did a nice job running into the middle, just sealing. X played behind him. Randy catches the ball within 3 feet, draws the foul. Nice little shot put up there. Gets it to drop.
So Randy White looks to complete a 3-point play. Free throw on the way and good, and that cuts the Celtics lead to 9 with 3:46 to play. Dee Brown out of Jacksonville in his 7th year, lightning fast, not very big, 6'1", 160 pounds. And he finds the open man, McDaniel, who's rejected from behind by White twice. Finally, on the 3rd try by McDaniel, they'll get White in a foul.
X got 2 of them blocked. That didn't deter him. He stayed with it, worked hard, got the 3rd one, and took it up for the foul, for the free throws. There's the first block by Randy. There's another one by Randy. That time Randy got him.
Holy mackerel.
Good defensive effort, though, by Randy White.
He's a hard-working guy. McDaniel playing some great basketball. As you point out, he just wouldn't quit. He now has 10 points.
He was a big factor in their win down in Dallas. He came in the 3rd and 4th quarter and really stepped up big for the Celtics.
An 11-point advantage for the Celtics as they look to extend their win streak to 5 straight after losing 13 of their previous 15 games. Jamal Mashburn, the game's leading scorer with 26. Can't get the jumper to go. Radja tips the defensive bound right back to himself. Here's McDaniel. He's really looking to work low against Mashburn. They'll get Jamal Mashburn on a foul. The 3rd team foul on the Mavericks. There are just 2 on Boston in the 4th quarter. Legler gets set to come back in the game now for the Mavericks.
Yeah, Quinn Buckner is going to put Legler in, try to get some instant offense here, maybe a couple threes. Somebody a little more offensive minded. Good job by Randy on the defensive end. The Celtics, on the other hand, are going to look to burn some time off this 24-second clock with just a little over 3 minutes left in the ball.
Very significant part, Brad, of the good rebounding of Xavier McDaniel. 10 rebounds, but 8 of them are offensive rebounds.
Yeah, he works. He's a hard worker on the boards.
John Rooks rips it off. And now a low pass intended for Mashburn, and there's a foul on Kevin Gamble on the play. And we have a timeout called on the floor with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the game. So we'll come back for the stretch run at Boston Garden after this. The Knicks.
They tightened up on New York down the stretch without Ewing and without Starks. That would have been an ugly looking game up in New York because they scored the bulk of the points.
Here's Lucious Harris driving hard to the basket and getting the shot.
That's what you've got to do with the clock running down. Not a lot of time left in the ball game. You've got to go right at him. Good job by Lucious. You either draw the foul or you get an open layup like he did.
Quinn Buckner getting the good legs and the quickness of young Lucious Harris back in the game now when the Mavericks need defense badly. Down by 9 with 2:24 to play. This time McDaniel doesn't get it to go. He got another offensive rebound, his 9th of this game, and his 11th rebound overall.
This is one thing you don't want to do with a guy like Xavier McDaniel, is let him have a free crack at the boards. He took the shot. Nobody put a body on him. He was able to get to the boards, get the rebound. Nice pass underneath to Radja.
The Celtics, Brad, have really limited the Dallas free throw shooting. Dallas had 26 attempts at the free throw line through the first 3 quarters. Only 1 free throw attempt here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the Mavericks haven't been getting a whole lot of stuff inside in this 4th quarter. They've sort of been into a half-court game with a lot of outside jumpers.
Scoring in the NBA is down. It was interesting. The article in one of the Boston papers analyzing scoring in the NBA. 15 of the 27 teams average 100 or more points, a little over half. The last time that few averaged 100 or more was 37 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of it's being credited to the defense. Don Casey had an interesting theory. He said a lot of guys nowadays, as Jimmy Jackson gets fouled on the drive, a lot of guys nowadays, he said, are coming out of passing game type offenses in college, don't have the ability to make their own shots off the move, off the dribble, like you do a lot in the NBA.
Yeah, talking about the motion offenses in high school and college and the passing offenses, that there just aren't the players out there that can break them down off the dribble like some of the great scorers in the past, Robertson and West, and people did it virtually all off the dribble.
Yeah, Jimmy Jackson is one of those type of players that can do that. A great one-on-one player, a guy that can break people down, create his own shot, or pass and create other people's shots.
I think the best part of Mashburn's game is handling the ball down low.
Yeah, at 6'8", he can break down a lot of people with his size.
Here comes Radja down floor. He can't get it to work. It's off the hands of Rick Fox. It'll come inbounds to Dallas. Rick Fox trying to give himself the call.
Mavericks have a shot to get this thing down to 7 points here with a quick basket.
Jim Jackson up on Fox, and Jackson with a hard bank knocks it down. And the Mavericks have cut it down to 7 with 1:53 to play. A lot of possessions still to go in this game.
There are, but they can't afford to give up any more baskets to the Celtics. Being down by 7 points with under 2 minutes left, if you're down by 9, it's almost death for you. They've got to stop them almost every time down.
Defensive stop as the double up. Over to Fox down low and knocked away nicely by Legler, who came from way off the play. Jim Jackson is now to 20 points for the game. Jamal Mashburn, high score with 26. Here's big Dino Radja heading for the hoop. Takes a big step in, and that's what you talked about. They gave up one they really didn't need.
It's going to be tough now. You're down by 9 points with 1.5 minutes left in the game. They've got to get something quick, either going to the basket or an open 3.
Celtics hawking hard on defense as Mashburn with that spin dribble. And he is knocked to the floor by Xavier McDaniel, and Jamal Mashburn will go to the free throw line.
Good job. Anytime you take the ball to the basket, you put the onus on the referee to make a call here, especially if there's contact. Nice spin move by Jamal Mashburn. McDaniel may have been in possession, but there's contact. The shot goes up. Let the referee make the call, and he did.
Jamal Mashburn now with 27 points. He comes in averaging 18.8 a game, and this is rookie season. 4th player picked in the last draft. A lot of conversation about who the top guys are going to be this year. NBA teams, scouts really won't talk about who the underclassmen are because it's against league policy. Rick Sun, the vice president of basketball operations, is here tonight for Dallas. But you talk to some independent scouting services, and it's going to be Glenn Robinson #1 and Grant Hill #2. Rising fast is Jason Kidd, the guard from California, if he comes out. Now they hawk Rick Fox. And it'll be a foul call on Dallas.
Yeah, Doug Smith reached in and grabbed him. Good offensive rebound that time by Doug Smith. Got it out to Lucious Harris. Had a good look at it from the corner. Went down and came out. At this point, you've got to start fouling with 1:06 left in the game, down by 8.
Rick Fox goes to the free throw line, having his best game of the season with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Good solid game by Rick Fox. Good free throw shooter, 77%.
Always happens, right?
Put the jinx on him. You got to.
He's only 1 for 4 from the free throw line today, Rick Fox. The rest of his game has been on, though. Ricks them both, but Radja gets the rebound and he throws it out to Kevin Gamble as Legler hawks him. Gamble breaks away.
I think that's about it. Broke through. Another offensive rebounder. Hurt the Mavericks. Kicked it out and got it.
Mashburn fires a 3. Rebound comes down to Rick Fox. Dallas hawking, pressing all over the court, trying to get it back. Fox is freed up. Shot clock down to 12, so they'll take a little more off it. Taken away by Jim Jackson. Here's a 3-on-2 break. Lead goes to Legler, and Tim Legler drives to the basket and lays it in. 108-100 with 31 seconds to go. Lucious intentionally fouls there to stop the play, stop the clock with 28:8 to play.
Let me see if I can put the jinx on Dee Brown. He's an 87% free throw shooter, so he's a very good free throw shooter. See if we can get him to miss too.
He'll be doing some good work if you can get him to miss.
Yeah.
How about Abdul Rauf of Denver?
He's run off a lot of streaks this year. Good free throw shooter.
Over 96%. Chris Corchiani is now in the game for the Boston Celtics as Dee Brown hits the first free throw. Brown has just 9 points. He's been Boston's leading scorer this season, averaging 14 a game. But their top 6 scorers are separated by less than a 1 point per game average, 13-1 to 14. Their top 6 scorers all fit in there. 22 seconds to go. A reject. Corchiani gets the ball, gives to Dee Brown. 110 to 100. Here's ball out to Tim Legler. A 3-point try doesn't go. Lucious Harris puts it back up and gets it down with 9 seconds to play. Up court to Xavier McDaniel. Cross court to Corchiani. Doug Smith on Gamble. He's holding the ball, looking to get fouled, and runs out the clock. And the Celtics extend their string of victories to 5 in a row as they defeat the Mavericks 110 to 102. So as they did last Wednesday night at Reunion Arena, the Mavericks hang with Boston all the way.